They've got two of their experienced men back today.
Unable to turn. Well, the highlights of the first quarter, well, they're obviously going to be monopolised by the blue and gold because they, you know, you heard Phil on screen there, you know, they're out of the centre bounce. That's where their problems started. And this guy on screen, O'Connor roving or up in the forward pocket, has just been, you know, so damaging. Kicking goals or setting up the play. McTaggart solid across the half-back line with Aziz. Lloyd at full-back's been great. Michelle's given them a lot of stiffness and bite. Rickman at full forward's been a superb player until, unfortunately, that shoulder injury saw him leave the field. But really, they've just been far too slick, far too committed. And the thing I like about Williamstown really is their strength of mind. You know, when you analyse their performances of last year, they look like steamrolling the competition. But complacency somewhere set in, and, you know, when the toughness and the strength of finals appeared, I don't believe they really had the basis to go on and win a flag. Whereas this year, the way the season's panned out, they've really had to fight for everything they've got. They've lost a few games early, they've lost personnel, but they've rallied, and I really believe they've developed some character and camaraderie between themselves, and they've really got a genuine spirit and a belief that they can go all the way. No one's questioning their ability. The ability's always been prevalent, but that real gut feeling of whether I belong, I think, has finally started to surface, and teammate is prepared to give for teammate, and I think that's exactly what's on display here at the moment.
Well, you said during that quarter, Sam, that they were doing the job. As Rickman, I wonder what his absence is going to do from now on. He got 3 goals in 4 minutes there, but talking to Bruce Davis before the match, he said, I'm not interested in what they think or how they feel about this game. We want some results on the board now. And well, perhaps one leads to the other. Well,
it does, and it's great to see that sort of mentality, you know, prevailing in the club, because it is business, and that's what it's all about. Winning is the all-important factor. You know, competing's nice, but the bottom line is what counts. And Rickman, you know, it's a sad blow that we've lost him, or Williamstown have lost him, but I must confess, the way Williamstown are playing, I don't think they'll be solely reliant on Rickman as they have been previously. He's wonderful when he's in form. Always had grave doubts about their capacity to get over the top of Coburg in a pressure situation, but the way they've just gone about it, absolutely destroying them, and they have really obliterated it. I've never seen a top side dominate a top side in the big match.
We've seen Williamstown win by big margins, haven't we? But never against opposition like Coburg.
No, and the manner in which they've done it right across the field, you know, from the centre bounce to the, you know, they're completely dominating. Coburg, in fact, have not got one player that is winning in their position. Not one player. You can say Langen's working hard and Littler's working hard, but at the very best, they would be in a break-even situation or marginally behind.
Well, Phil Cleary really questioned the commitment he was getting from his players at quarter time. A bit better showing from them in that second quarter?
Yes, a little bit better. Look, I'm almost tempted to dismiss Coburg's performance as one of those days, because I have seen them. I know how good they are, the character they possess, and the capacity to bounce back, and every side does have a day like this. But by saying that, I'm really detracting from Williamstown's performance, who they've really worked, I'm sure, all year so hard to really reach this pinnacle that they're displaying today. And you look at the likes of Michelle, you know, who's really disciplined and settled out and playing intelligent football. And what a fine player he is when he's in that frame of mind. Howard at centre-half forward, a back line with Lloyd as is, backing up. McTaggart across the half-back line. Burton, tough, resilient. You know, when I say tough, let me clarify that. He's running hard, and that is real toughness.
And the toughness, especially around the middle there. You see Coburg in possession there, but forced to give the ball up. Here's Burton on the end of it.
And when I talk of toughness,
and look at this guy.
I left him for last, Marcus O'Connor, because he, you know, he has really been the lighthouse right across the ground. He's been the beacon that's really led them.
They tried to snuff his lights out too, Coburg.
They did at one stage. There was a few rough waves coming through the gap, but he certainly responded to the occasion, was equal to the task. And he's been absolutely brilliant, amassing some 20 possessions, whether it's been around the, you know, at the centre bounce or up in the forward pocket, kicking a few goals. Pastori, been a wonderful player. Pastori, the display of skill. Smith, been absolutely sensational. O'Connor there we see on screen again. Howlett, great skills. A quick chip over to Burton. Look at this for a pasture play. A quick handball over to, I think it was Morney, onto Michelle. And look at that for a team goal. And that's the things they're really doing well, the team-orientated things so well.
Sam, but Williamstown just slowed things down, shored up their defences, and ended up increasing their lead again.
Well, the game's well within their keeping now, Peter, and as you said, that quarter was a pretty even quarter of football, really. But Coburg did show a bit more grit and endeavoured to come back. They revamped their forward line, putting Nimmo and Littler up forward and endeavoured to get a bit more oomph up there. They rearranged their side. Green was a fine player. Sheldon was, winning a lot of possession, as too was Langan. And they, they were a bit more resilient. But overall, the class of Williamstown at the appropriate time was always there to the forefront. And, the telling goal, just the first goal when Sheldon came through with a long telling goal. But Williamstown immediately had the answer, through Howlett, Morning and Michelli up forward. Michelli in particular I've been very impressed with. Here he is on screen now. Switching the play across, and there was Minot, and Minot just chipped it easy as you like over to Morney, and Morney kicks the goal. And they've looked well composed. They've developed a fine system of play, and they're ensuring that the fine work that they've done early in the game is not going to be for no apparent reason. They're just doing enough at the moment, I feel, that's necessary, which is not really a good sign. I'm sure they're working hard, and it's not always easy when you've got a side on its knees to completely annihilate them.
I think they're well aware, as you were saying earlier, Sam, that the season's got a long way to go, and of course, more importantly, is what happens in September.
Exactly. And that's a passage of play that I was referring to in that quarter with Michelli. He really sized the situation up that Howlett had possession on the boundary line. The Michelli of...
Great pleasure in presenting you the Wards Express Man of the Match. Well done, Marcus.
Well done, Marcus. Terrific effort, of course. The keys to the Mazda, you're old enough to drive, of course, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm old enough.
Well, you've had a terrific year and capped off a marvellous game today with over 40 possessions, and particularly in that first half. That's why we gave you the nod. Great win against the old foes.
Yeah, that's true. It's always good to beat Coburg. I've never played in a winning side against them, so, it was a good experience.
You wiping a bit of blood from your nose there? Had a nice little tussle with a couple of the players?
Yeah, a bit of a tussle, but, it's better when you win. Doesn't hurt as much, so no problem.
Marcus O'Connor. Now, I think we might take this opportunity to have a word to Barry. Barry Rounds over here. Oh, you're sorry. Marcus got some word to us.
I'd just like to thank the sponsors, Wards Express and Mazda, for the award. It's great.
Terrific. OK, the Williamstown Rover, Marcus O'Connor. And here's Barry Round being mobbed. Barry? Well, Barry, I guess at the end of the day, you didn't think you were going to have a win like that. Well, the start of the day, I should say.
No, it was a great effort, and it was good for 4 quarters, which was a bit of a contrast to last week at Springvale. But naturally, we're very happy. But every dog has his day, and it's just another day at the office for us. We've got to win again next week now.
What did you say at half-time?
I just stressed the point that we were in a similar position last week, and Springvale came out pretty revved up in the 3rd quarter and took the initiative, and I didn't want Coburg to do that. I think they did a little bit, but we sort of maintained our lead, and the last quarter was good again.
Now, how do you assess the top 3 sides at the moment? I guess you're putting yourselves up there. Coburg have slipped a bit, haven't they?
I think Springvale and Coburg are still the 2 sides to beat. I think last year we looked more impressive. We've had to really struggle this year, and those two sides look the ones at this stage, but naturally we're hoping we can get there.
Of course, he's not giving anything away, but we must compliment Barry too on your own game. A very fine game by you.
Thanks, mate.
And your wife tells us you're going to play against senior footy against your son.
I don't think I'll wait that long.
Okay, Barry Round, the coach of the Seagull.